everybody, this is Eno. So today we are going to have episode number 1 of our Mossberg 500 project. And the first thing we're going to do is actually a very easy thing to do. Is we're going to mount a top rail mount to the top of our Mossberg 500. Very easy thing to do. A lot of people have done it. But we're going to go ahead and do one here today. And then, since this is the easiest thing to do, we're going to make it our first video. Get it out of the way early. So the rail mount we have is a UTG. This is the MB500T. This is specifically made for the Mossberg 500. Comes with all the hardware and a little tool, which we're not going to use. So let's go ahead and start getting this on. So this is going to use a 3mm hex key, which I have right here. Again, like I said, I'm not going to use the one that comes in there. 3mm hex key, and this is called a hex key. For some reason, when people call this an Allen wrench, it just rubs me the wrong way. Allen is a brand name, not a type of wrench. And a wrench goes around the bolt. A key goes into a bolt. So this is called a hex key. The other thing we're going to need is a flat blade screwdriver, a very small one, to get the bolts out of the top that come factory installed. And it wouldn't hurt to have a little torque wrench with you. So let's go ahead and get this out of here. There we go. And I'm just going to put the bolts aside and the rail over here. Get rid of that tool. So let's go ahead and unscrew these 4 little screws that come on the Mossberg from the factory. These are not usually Loctited into place or very tightly on. In fact, in my opinion, if you shoot your gun a lot, straight out of the box, these a lot of times will loosen up on you. So, shouldn't be hard at all to get off. Good idea to go ahead and keep them though, in case you ever take the rail off. These are basically just to plug the holes. They really don't serve any purpose beyond that. Okay, so now the rail mount will come with 4 holes that will line up with the 4 holes in the gun. So it goes on basically just like that. But let's go ahead and prepare our bolts first. So I am going to use some Loctite on this. I don't always use Loctite. I vary between using Loctite and grease. It depends on what the situation is, and I won't really get into the specifics there. Just to tell you that in this particular situation, I'm going to use Loctite. A little bit goes a long way, but on the other hand, if you get too much on, that one's got a little bit of a kind of a big dollop on it. There we go. Take the excess off. If you get it all over your fingers and stuff, wipe your fingers off. Don't go getting Loctite all over everything. Okay, so we want to make sure that our interface here is nice and clean from any debris or dirt. And let's go ahead and get our, oh, fuzzy there, get our rail mounted up. And get our 3mm hex key. There we go. Alrighty. So we just did those finger tight, just with the tool, just spun them in. Now we'll go ahead and wrench them down. I think the actual torque spec for these is about 20 or so. That's a lot in my opinion. So just get them good and tight. There's Loctite on there, so they'll stay in place. So there she is. UTG Tactical Rail Mount. Episode 1, first step in the Mossberg project. It's only going uphill from here. Hope you enjoyed. Take it easy.